Well, let's go ahead and bring out our first guest.
Okay. Ever wonder where you came from? Not just your hometown, but where your ancestors came from.
That's right. Who they were, what kind of lives they had. Well, joining us now is a man who knows how to navigate public records and find out the intricacies of our pasts.
Please welcome Joe Godfrey from Archives.com. Good to have you here, Joe.
Great to be here.
Yes,
Curious to find out what you found out.
Yeah, so you did a whole background check on Cindy Edwards here, which should be very interesting to find out a little bit more about this crazy lady that I sit next to every day.
Well, anybody who's interested in finding out about their history, if they go to Archives.com, how much do you have to know in order to take the next step, next step, next step?
Yeah, well, the good news is you don't have to know a whole lot to learn a little. The more you know, the more you're likely to learn. But what I would recommend to all your viewers is go to archives.com, type in information for the people you know, your parents, your grandparents, see what comes up, see what kind of records you find. You may find some information that helps you figure out who their parents were, who some of their siblings were. And then what you should do next, absolutely, is talk to your oldest living relatives. Talk to your parents for sure, talk to your grandparents if they're still alive, talk to any kind of aunts and uncles. You'd be amazed. There's probably someone in your family who's done some research already, and you can get a lot of invaluable information just by talking.
So get some more names and just keep plugging them in. Now, is there a fee for this service?
There is. So it's $39.95 for 1 year, for each year, actually.
Okay.
And then there's a 7-day free trial, so anyone can try it for free, see what sort of information they find, see if they're excited about it. And this price is, about 80% less than the leading competitor, and quite a bit less than a lot of other family history websites.
Okay, well, this is what I did. I took your questions, answered what I could, gave the rest to my mom, said, fill this in for me, please, because she's got all the information, and then gave it off to you. So I have no idea what you have found. May have a criminal background in my way past. I'm not sure.
You probably find some very interesting things that maybe some folks don't want to know, huh?
Yes, probably. So although finding out that your mother or father was a criminal is not terribly exciting, finding out that your great-great-grandfather's a criminal actually can be pretty exciting.
Sure.
Well, let's go there. Let's see what happens.
You got. You blew everything up here so we can look at it.
Okay, bring out the first.
We didn't find any criminal history.
Oh, thank you. I'm happy to hear that.
But it may be there. We didn't. So what this is, just so your viewers can see, this is a partial view of your family tree.
Okay.
You can see you're right here, and then here's your parents, Rex and Ann.
Rex and Ann. I know it says Ann because my mother, you've all heard me talk about Pat. My mother's Ann Patricia Emmeline, but she went with Patricia. So Ann it is.
Right.
All right.
And so what we did, and so I worked with a researcher from the New England Historic Genealogical Society, and we traced in a little bit deeper on your mom's side. And the person I want to focus on is your great-great-grandfather, Kieran Nolan.
Oh,
so,
why him?
I have a nephew named Kieran, and I guess he was named after the great-great-grandpa.
So now, why do you choose to focus on him? Just
well, because what we found that was most interesting happened to be related to Kieran. So both this tree you saw before and this closer view of Kieran was built on Archives.com using the family tree tools, which are included in the membership.
Okay, Kieran was born in 1812.
Yeah,
and they used to spell it Nolan with a W, but and then when my mom was a Nolan, it was just N-O-L-A-N.
Yes,
so they dropped the W.
So it was actually when I think it was your great-grandfather John Nolan, who was Kieran's son, came over to the U.S. is when the name changed. So probably what happened is when they came through and asked his name, and he said Nolan, they said, that sounds like N-O-L-A-N, and so therefore your name is now Nolan.
So this is the great-great-great.
Right. So this is great-great.
Oh, this is great-great. Oh, gotcha.
It gets confused. So
who's on
the
first?
Terminology would be the second grade, is the way people get avoid getting confused.
All right.
Oh, okay.
So by the time you get to 5th or 6th, it's just easier to say.
Okay. Now what did we find?
So what we found was, and the reason we have about 1812 is that we found a record of the baptism in 1812, and typically you were baptized right around the time you were born back then. And so it may have been 1811 that he was born.
Interesting. Cindy was born in 1912.
This was in Kilkenny, yes. So you have family roots in Kilkenny, Ireland, and this is
after the beer. I don't know.
Maybe.
Maybe. Go ahead.
And this is, parents John and Joan, and some of the brothers and sisters. And the reason this is interesting is what we found was in 1847 in Kilkenny. This was about 2 years after the Irish potato famine, if you remember. This is a letter written by your great-great-uncle Patrick Nolan.
My Uncle Patrick.
And what this letter is effectively is he's writing to the Earl of Bessborough, which is the area that Kilkenny's in, basically saying, we could use some money.
Oh.
So people here have been in a bit of a dire strait, and here's kind of a list of some people in the area that could use some help. And they called it subscriptions.
Was Patrick like the accountant for the town or something?
Well, he was the secretary.
Oh, he was the secretary.
But he was actually the secretary for this, for lack of a better word, the poorhouse.
Oh.
So this was kind of, and what we found was there's actually several Nolans listed on here. And given the time and the place, Nolan was not a very common name in Kilkenny, so it is very, very likely that this is your great-great-uncle Patrick.
And we have a few seconds.
Yeah, we're just about out of time here.
So finally.
And that John is your great-great-uncle as well.
That's
cool.
fascinating.
People.
My mom and dad are going to be really interested in this, and I am too, and I'm looking forward to even going a little deeper.
Right. Well, Joe Godfrey, thank you. Folks, if you're interested, go to archives.com and get some more information.
Patrick okay, gotcha. Coming up on Daytime, a remake of Karate Kid.